Hi everyone and welcome back. This is Miss Holmes. We are going to continue to talk about coins. Today's lesson is solving word problems involving quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies. So before we start doing our word problems involving coins, I would like to review each coin to make sure that we remember the name of the coins and how much each coin is worth. So our first coin is a penny. And remember, we said that pennies are worth 1 cent. So when you're counting pennies, you should be counting by ones. Our next coin, is called a nickel. And a nickel, if you recall, is worth 5 cents. So when you're counting nickels, you should be counting by fives. Our next coin is called a dime. This is a dime, and our dimes are worth 10 cents. So every time that you count dimes, you should be counting by tens. And last, our quarter. This is a quarter, and it is worth 25 cents. So in order to start this lesson, you guys would need coins. You'll need pennies, you'll need nickels, you'll need dimes, and you'll need quarters. So before you start this lesson, I want you to pause this video and go grab some coins so that you can do the lesson along with me. So our first word problem is, how many pennies do you think it'll take to make 50 cents? So you'll need pennies. So I have pennies right here, and because a penny is worth how much? That's right, it's worth 1 cent. So in order to find out how many pennies it'll take to make 50 cents, we have to count from 1 to 50. So let's get our pennies and let's count. This is 1, 2 pennies, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. So it takes 50 pennies to make 50 cents. And how do we know that? We know that because each penny is worth 1 cent. So our next word problem is, how many nickels will it take to make 50 cents? So what number do you think that we're going to count by if we're counting nickels? Correct. So we should be counting by fives because nickels are worth 5 cents. So let's grab our nickels and we're going to count our nickels to find out how many nickels it takes to count to 50. Okay, to make 50 cents. So let's start counting our nickels. Remember, we have to count by fives. Nickels are worth 5 cents. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Did that take long? No, it didn't. Alright, so now let's look at our nickels and let's count our nickels to see how many nickels it takes to count to 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 10 nickels equals 50 cents. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next word problem, which is how many dimes does it take to make 50 cents? So remember, dimes are worth 10 cents, so we should be counting by what number? Very good. So in order to count dimes, we should be counting by the number 10 because remember, dimes are worth 10 cents, okay? So let's grab our dimes and now we're going to count to 50. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, so that did not take long at all. So let's see how many dimes it takes in order to make 50 cents. 1 dime, 2 dimes, 3, 4, 5. So it only takes 5 dimes to count to 50. Our next word problem is how many quarters do you think it'll take to make 50 cents? So remember, quarters are worth 25 cents. So we're counting by 25s. All right, so I'm going to take this quarter and this is worth 25. And then I'm going to take this quarter, which is also worth 25. And I know that if I add 25 and 25, that'll make 50. So we only need 2 quarters to make 50 cents. Okay, so that was a really short word problem. Okay, so let's move on to our next word problem. If you have 2 dimes, 1, 2, and 3 pennies, 1, 2, 3, how many cents do you have? So remember that's 2 dimes, here are your dimes, and 3 pennies. How many cents do you have? So I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to count. And then we're going to go over our answer together. So how many cents will you have if you have 2 dimes and 3 pennies? And we're going to count together. All right, so let's first talk about our dimes. So remember, our dimes are worth how much? Good job. So our dimes are worth 10 cents. Okay, so we have 2 of them. So we have to count by what? Good job. So we have 2 dimes. We have to count by 10. So let's count by 10s and see how many dimes we have. All right, so that's 1, 2 dimes. So let's count by 10. So that's 10, 20. So far, how many cents do we have? We have 20 cents. Good job. All right, so that's 20 cents. And then we're going to add on our pennies, which are worth how much? Great. So our pennies are worth 1 cent each. So remember, our 2 dimes equals 20 cents. Good job. So we're going to count from 20 and then add on 3 pennies, which are worth 1 cent. So we're going to count by ones, okay? So that's 20, 21, 22, 23. All right, so the answer is 23 cents. So 2 dimes and 3 pennies equals 23 cents. Very good. Before we go to our next word problem, can you tell me which coin has the highest value? That means which coin is worth the most. So, do you think it's a penny? Remember, the penny is worth 1 cent. The nickel is worth 5 cents. The dime is worth 10 cents. And the quarter is worth 25 cents. So out of these four coins, which coin has the highest value? Which one is worth more? All right, good job. So the quarter is worth 25 cents. Therefore, the quarter has the highest value. Now, looking at these four coins, which coin has the lowest value? Okay, is it the quarter? Is it the dime? Is it the nickel? Or is it the penny? Very good. So the penny, because it's worth only 1 cent, it has the lowest value. Okay, good job. Okay, so our next word problem is, if you have 1 nickel and 5 pennies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you have 1 nickel and 5 pennies, how many cents do you have? So we know that a nickel is worth 5 cents and pennies are worth 1 cent. So the word problem is, if you have 1 nickel and 5 pennies, how many cents do you have? So I'll give you guys a few seconds to work on this word problem before we do it together. Okay, so let's start working on it together. So the question was, if you had 1 nickel and 5 pennies, how many cents do you have? So the nickel is worth, the nickel has the highest value, so we're always going to start with the highest value coin when we're counting. So we're going to start off by counting this nickel, which is worth 5 cents, so we know that this is 5. Because we know that each penny is worth 1 cent, we're going to count by ones. So we're going to count on from 5, and the next number after 5 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's our answer. Our answer is 10 cents. So if you have 1 nickel and 5 pennies, you have 10 cents. Okay? So my next question is, what coin can we use? What single coin can we use instead of using all of these coins? Instead of using this 1 nickel and 5 pennies, what single coin can we use? What coin is worth 10 cents? Yes, so a dime by itself is worth 10 cents. Okay? Very good. So what if you didn't have a dime? Okay, what if you didn't have a dime? What if you didn't have a nickel and you were trying to get 10 cents? What else can you do besides using a dime and besides using a nickel? What can you do to make 10 cents? What coins can you use, can you add together to make 10 cents? Good job. All right, so pennies. We can count 10 pennies. 10 pennies is the same as counting 1 nickel and 5 pennies. 10 pennies is the same as using this nickel, okay? Okay, guys, so our last word problem of today is, if you have 2 dimes and 1 nickel, how many cents do you have? So we know that dimes are worth 10 cents and nickels are worth 5 cents. Okay, so if you have 2 dimes and 1 nickel, how many cents do you have total? So I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to count those coins on your own, and then we're going to come back and count them together. Alright, so let's come back together and we're going to count them. So we know that 2 dimes are worth 20 cents, because if we count by tens, this is 10 and then this is 20. And then we're going to add our 5 cents to it. So 10, 20, 25. Okay, because this is worth 5. Alright, so if you have 2 dimes and you have 1 nickel, it is worth 25 cents. Okay, so what coin, I'll give you guys a hint, what coin is also worth 25 cents? Okay, what coin is this? It is the quarter. So the quarter is the same value as 2 dimes and 1 nickel. So 2 dimes and 1 nickel is worth 25 cents, and the quarter is also worth 25 cents. So the last thing that we're going to do today is practice good hygiene. Because coins, not only coins, but money altogether, it is transferred from place to place, from hands to hands. They carry a lot of germs, so it is important every time you deal with money to wash your hands. So I'm going to show you the correct way to wash your hands. So the first thing that you're going to do is go to running water, and then you're going to wet both of your hands. Then you're going to get a squirt of soap, and you're going to lather your hands together for 20 seconds. You can sing the ABC song. You can count to 20. You can sing your favorite song. Just make sure that you're scrubbing your hands for 20 seconds. So I'm going to go from front to back. I'm going to go in between my fingers. I'm going to clean my fingernails. Just want to make sure that I'm getting all the germs off of my hands. Alright, so my 20 seconds is over, and once you're done lathering your hands together, you're going to rinse the soap off of your hands. Then you're going to leave the water running, and you're going to grab a paper towel, and you're going to dry your hands off. Once you finish drying your hands off, then you are going to turn the running water off using your paper towel, and then you can discard your paper towel. Okay, so I hope that you guys enjoyed today's lesson, and I'll see you next week.